are brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on selling and investing in real estate. You're probably asking yourself, educate. Yes, there's a surprising amount of adults that when it comes to real estate, don't know the right questions to ask, don't know where to start, and think they need a lot of cash to buy a house in Nevada, which simply isn't true. So Josh has decided to make it his responsibility to teach his clients what they need to know, and equally important, what they need to ask to help ensure making their home ownership dreams a true reality. So make sure you call or text Joshua LaFon today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Make sure you give him a call, 702-813-0533.
Like we always do about this time.
James Russell, you hustling son of a...
It's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose. Now look at me now. How far we go back? Elementary, jump rope, hide and go see, pity pat, red light, green light, red light, green light.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. We talking about practice, man. But we talking about practice right now. We talking about
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
That's right, Wednesday night, just past 9 p.m. You already know what it is. You are tuning to Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. The usual suspects up in the building. Rob G, Kwame 59 behind the big board doing what he does for us every single Wednesday night. We are coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. We are live on the Gorilla Cross Radio app. You can find it in the App Store for Google or Apple. Not only that, GorillaCross.com. And if you are streaming it and you want to watch it, you can go to the YouTube page on Gorilla Cross. You can go on the Facebook page for Gorilla Cross. Not only that, we share it on my page, Jose Volonte, on the Straight Bet Sports page on Facebook. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. We'll be posting a lot more sports stuff on there. Not only that, doing polls, questions, just try to get more fans involved, especially people that follow and watch the show. We're going to be having a lot going on as well. So go ahead and check it out if you have not done so. Straight Bet Sports. If you catch us looking back and forth, we do have the game on in studio. We do have a guest in studio tonight too, which we're going to get to here shortly. But Rob, you were at the game last night. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I know you were excited about that. So was I. And even though I wasn't there, it was cool to know that somebody was there because it was a big game last night, man. You ready for tonight, though?
I'm ready. It's gonna. I don't know how much you're gonna get out of me today, with this game on in the background.
It's kind of tough to have it in the background, especially, man, they were down as many as 16, I think, at one point.
Yeah, I saw 13, but yeah, it was up there.
Crazy number. But yeah, man, once again, we are coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. We are brought to you by Joshua LaFon. Make sure you guys hit up Joshua LaFon as we let you know every single show. We greatly appreciate him being our sponsor and keeping us going. Now, this week, we have a lot to talk about, but it's a lot of basketball as well because our WNBA Las Vegas Aces are back. They're coming back in town this Friday. We'll talk about that as well. Golden Knights already started their playoff series. We're going to get into that and get everyone's thoughts. And like I said, Rob was in the building last night at T-Mobile Arena. We'll get his thoughts on how the atmosphere was and how he saw the action and what he thinks will be happening moving forward in that series as well. Not only that, if you guys have ever watched the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, it's awesome, by the way. It's amazing. We don't promote smoking or anything like that on the show, but if that's what you like and those are the type of things you like to watch, these guys bring it to you real and they bring it to you raw, man. They don't mess around. And something happened there with Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown. Some comments about when Gilbert Arenas came to town with the Washington Wizards back in the days. If you guys didn't see it, I can't show you the video, but go ahead and check it out on YouTube. Trust me, we're going to talk about that as well. NBA playoffs are almost set as we have the final playing game being played right now. You see me all draped out in my Laker gear, obviously. We'll talk about that game. And how's it going? We're gonna be rubbernecking for the rest of the show here. Trust me, because we're going to be watching the game as well. Towards the end, we'll do a little open floor here because I know there's a lot to talk about. Oakland A's. I know Ms. Ballin D wants to talk about that. Rob, I know you're a baseball guy, so we definitely got to talk about that. We're going to give some shout outs to some people on a great article that I read earlier here off of Vegas Sports Today. Big shout out to Mike Dixon and Scott Goldbranson. Go ahead and check out the website if you haven't done so, man. They're doing great stuff over there. They did a great partnership from Vegas Sports Daily with Raiders Today, I think it was, something like that, and they combined. So now, great website there. Go ahead and check them out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in with our first guest and only guest of the night. She's doing a back-to-back because her show just ended a few hours ago. So she took off and came back to join us in studio. Miss Ballin D, host of No Plays Off Sports Talk. We greatly appreciate you joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Jose. We like family now. Like
Pretty
extended
much,
cousins.
right? I mean, we're in the same we're in the same network, same studio,
Yes,
of course,
sir.
definitely.
Yes, sir.
Long time coming. We talked about it since we met.
Absolutely.
We said we wanted to get it done for months now. I know it was just a few days, but hey, we got it done. I appreciate you coming
appreciate
on.
you for having me.
Like the Aces jersey?
Yeah, you're not gonna represent. We're back home at the house this
Are those
Friday.
the new ones? No, right?
These the old ones,
the ones
man.
from last year?
Yeah, these the old ones. Haven't had a chance to get the new ones yet.
You like the new ones?
They don't come in my size, man, so I ain't showing it no love.
You're like, if it don't fit,
Yeah,
I will
man,
not
I'm a
wear
big
it.
girl, man.
I got you.
Yeah.
So how was your show earlier? I saw it. If you guys missed it, great show. Go ahead and check it out. But give a little recap about what you guys
It
talked
was
about.
good, man. We had Monty Buckley on. He has a special guest representing the Sweat Box. He has it's kind of like a training facility. I like to call it a Boys and Girls Club in a gym atmosphere. He
Okay,
has it
nice,
here. And
nice.
we also had Kaylee Bowie, who on the show. She's a part of 100 Ways USA. They are a 501 nonprofit organization here in town. They're doing some things locally. They're having a big basketball camp that's going to be coming up. I believe it's June 9th or June 7th is the date. It is absolutely free.
Okay.
Kids age 6 to 18 can come in. They're going to have some very special basketball. NBA guests are going to be in the house.
Okay, nice.
It is absolutely free. Sponsored by a lot of community partners. So yeah, we had a great show, man.
So it gives families an opportunity to take their kids out that want to join some
Absolutely.
camps. Not only that, get back to a little bit of normalcy, right?
Aren't we all ready for that?
A lot of us are. Kwame was just talking about earlier that he walks around with the mask in his pocket now and just walks into any store.
Yeah,
And you know what? I would do the same thing. If they don't tell me nothing, it's gone technically right now. We're following what the CDC said according to governor. So, hey, I'm fully vaccinated. So
am I.
it is what it is. I don't want to wear the mask anyways. So I don't go as far as Quan and not, wear it when I walk into someone. But if I see people not wearing it, you better believe I'm taking it.
It's the mask for me, man. I got to still wear my mask, work at the airport. You're still required to wear your mask when you travel in any federal building. And I have to be responsible for me, elderly parents, my family, underlying conditions, and of course myself. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to continue to wear my mask, but to each his own, man. Just be responsible.
Just take care of yourself.
That's it.
And you guys were talking about it too earlier. I know Rob's been stuck on the TV over here. He's like, oh my God. You guys were talking about even EOS basically stripped masks now, basically saying it's optional, right?
Yeah, they sent out an email. I think it was Sunday night, saying that it's you got to respect everyone's choice now. So based on the new rules, with the CDC in Nevada, and yeah, it's up to you if you want to wear it or not. And
you talk about the social distancing inside or anything like that?
They're still doing social distancing, which is tough inside a gym, obviously. But it's basically an honor system, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how where I work, that's how it's going to basically move forward. I think July 1st, it's going to be based off the honor system, because you can't really ask somebody for their their card to show that they've been vaccinated.
Right.
So it's just one of those things that's hopefully people that aren't vaccinated continue to wear their masks. It's going to be the same for employees as well and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting, right? But the biggest thing is that there's the biggest call to action, I think, across the board, no matter where, all businesses, is no more mask police, right?
Correct, yeah.
So I think that's the biggest difference.
No more people stopping you at the door and like trying to give you a hard time about it.
Right. So yeah, it's no more like, hey, can you put the mask up, all that stuff like that. It's just, whatever your preference is at this point. So it's nice, it's good. But yeah, if you're not vaccinated, please wear your mask.
So let's jump right into the conversation.
Quan.
First one of the night. No, you don't want to talk about
No,
vaccinations and all that with Quan. But let's talk about the first topic of the night. Basically, I was chopping it up with you earlier. You mentioned it on your show, but you said you didn't look into it that much. Now, the whole situation with Kwame Brown, I got to watch more videos on the way here when I was chilling in the car. And to be honest with you, if you saw the original, let me go back to that. If you saw the original video in the, All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, you can check it out on Showtime if you haven't checked it out. Real good podcast. I know they don't know me, trying to give them a plug, whatever it is. But real good show if you haven't watched it. But the episode recently with Gilbert Arenas, fast forward to like about the first hour, give or take, they start asking him about him going to the Wizards and creating the Wizards and turning them basically into a playoff team, right? And him being the guy per se at that point in time. But they mentioned Kwame Brown, him being the number 1 overall pick. But it started with a joke in a way. I don't know if you saw the video, Ms. Ballin.
I didn't see the original video, no.
So basically, Steven Jackson cuts him off and goes, yeah, Matt was talking about the other show that, he was, best number 1
Best
pick
number
ever.
1 pick
and Matt,
overall,
he's like,
right.
no, what, Matt, what? He's like, nah, Matt Barnes like, nah. Matt didn't say nothing. He's like, nah, you said that he was the greatest number 1 pick of all time.
Wow.
And then Gilbert Arenas cuts it off right away and goes, he could have been, but he goes, just picture you idolizing someone and then that person, your mentor, drafts you. Weren't the exact words, but he kind of says something like
Speaking
that.
of Jordan, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Speaking of Jordan.
Okay.
And then Arenas goes, we know Jordan. He, that's his idol. So how do you look at that? And then when you have this type of persona behind you, always talking about you, pushing you, trying to push you at practices and this and that, and everyone else on the team, you're supposed to be the number 1 pick, but yet Jordan's aura is a lot bigger than you, and he overshadows you there, right? So Gilbert Arenas basically says when he got there to a guy that had no confidence. So he's like, I didn't come here for this. You're basically telling me I got to rebuild this. It's like he said his exact words were helping rebuild a man-child. A man-child. He said he reminded me of a show pony, of a show horse. Looked great, but he ain't going to win the race. You know what I mean? He had that type of body. But he also gives him credit. He says probably first or second fastest guy on the team. He had flashes of a lot that he could have done. But I just think, and I kind of agree in a way with what he said, the situation he got drafted in by being drafted by Michael Jordan and then him being there behind you back and forth is tough. Now, Kwame Brown's now came out and has attacked Steven Jackson. He's attacked Matt Barnes more than anything, but he's getting personal and it just sounds like he's upset. You know what I mean? He's just going at him and not really proving any points. He's talking about his personal life. What happened with Derek Fisher, saying, oh, Derek Fisher has the keys to your truck. Go give him some gas money so he could pick up your kids. And not only that, the one thing that I know he's a Southern guy, so the way he speaks,
Yes.
he uses the N-word very freely. And he's using it, I'm talking about above and beyond in the videos. I don't know if you've seen it, but it kind of irks me a bit. I just feel like you sound like a man-child, like Gilbert Arenas said, and you sound like a grown man that's just upset. To be honest with you, I get it. It sucks being called the biggest bust probably, or one of the biggest busts of all time in NBA history. It sucks. But the proof is in the pudding. Technically, if we're speaking stats, Matt Barnes' stats were better than yours. And technically speaking, Matt Barnes won a championship. Even though he probably wasn't a big part of that team with the Golden State Warriors because he got traded mid-season, but he won a championship. Kwame, you did nothing, man. They were joking about it, but yes, they gave you some nice pieces as well. Take it for what it is, man. You're just making yourself look worse, in my opinion. And if you've seen the videos, his eyes are bloodshot, and he blames it on hookah.
Hookah doesn't do that.
I've smoked hookah for a long
Hookah
time,
don't do
and
that.
it don't do that to you.
You know, he could be as worse as Anthony Bennett. I mean, he was the biggest number 1 bust that I can think of.
I think Anthony Bennett was the biggest number 1.
Man, you talk about number 1 bust. But
Rob
yeah,
just giggles
for
because
sure.
he loves.
Anthony Bennett. I remember Anthony Bennett.
What do
That was
you
a
think,
shock.
though? What do you think, Ballin?
I just think it's gotten out of control. Like I said, I haven't seen it from the video. I've been catching bits and pieces of it. One thing for sure is his followers has shot up. I was not following Kwame before.
Nope.
And today I started following him, and immediately when I logged on, it's like, oh, he's live, and I hopped in like, what is he talking about? And he was going ham on Stephen A. Smith. So I mean, I just think it's gotten out of hand. A good point that Monty Buckley said on my show is he thinks it's going to turn into a celebrity boxing match.
Oh, here we go,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Is that really what it's coming to, though?
I hope not.
Because we were talking about, they were talking about on the show, on Unnamed Sports Show the other day about Chad Johnson boxing.
Yeah.
Which I read about that obviously before they talked about it, but I'm okay with it if it's bringing money and these guys are making money. Like Mayweather said, I can fight a real boxer or whatever it may be for this much, but then I can fight a Paul brother and make this much.
Entertainment.
Exactly. At this point, it's all entertainment, right?
But at what point does it become a disrespect to the professional sport?
I look at it this way. I'll give you an example. I'm not a wrestling fan, but I saw a wrestling video of Triple H talking about Bad Bunny, how a lot of people made fun of him for wrestling. But yet he said he was the first and the last guy every single day when he decided to start with the WWE in the gym. He was honing his craft, proving to everyone, getting battered and bruised during practices, not just here saying, hey, I'm this guy, so I'm going to get an opportunity to fight for the belt or whatever it was. He lost in whatever SummerSlam or whatever it was, WrestleMania, and he's gone now. But he earned respect from a lot of people. So going back to that, if you're going to box and you're actually going to put in the time. You're going to train. You're actually going to fight or train with real boxers. I get it. The guy you're going to box is probably a celebrity. It's not a boxer, not a professional. I get that. But if you're going to go through it and get tested and go through the state of Nevada or state of California to get a license to be approved to fight, then
take it serious.
It's a show. I get that. You're trying to just create a spectacle. But what else are we watching right now? With all due respect. With all due respect, the UFC and MMA are overshadowing boxing. There's been a lot of great boxing matches, but there's not the matches that we want to see.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Interesting, man. I just it's
Does it
entertainment,
turn into
and
that,
I'm gonna
though?
be tuned into it for sure.
If it turns into that?
but I think you're correct. I think Mr. Brown is taking it very personal. I mean, and I just think it's gotten out of hand. And Monty's made a comment on my show and saying they have a platform. Use your platform. You have everyone's attention at this point. Now you do something positive with it. And I mean, you're tearing each other down in a sensitive society that we're in right now. It's just it's out of control.
And before I get your thoughts, Matt Barnes even came out with another video that they added with Kwame Brown's video. Matt Barnes came out and basically said, I've been out with my kids this whole weekend through their basketball tournaments, this and that, and I just found out about all this, right? He goes, I messaged you directly and said, let's talk about this because I really don't know what happened or what's going on. But then Kwame Brown went out and did what he did. So then Kwame Brown's trying to flip it and say, well, you don't want to talk to me like a man. If Matt Barnes says he hit you up first to talk about this through a message, whether it was a DM, a text message, social media, whatever it is, then that shows that you're just upset, bro. You're tired of people talking about you. I get it. But if the proof is in the pudding, Rob?
I would like to see it end in a boxing fight, right? I would like to see it end in a boxing fight, but I mean, everything going on here. I mean, he's getting, first of all, the three people that are, or the three people that are versus Kwame Brown in this, right, all had better careers than him.
Oh yeah,
we know for the most part that when they talk about him, getting brought down by Michael Jordan when he got there and everything, we know. When Jordan was playing, he wasn't the best teammate, right? I think The Last Dance maybe proved that a little bit in the way that he kind of, his way of motivating his team and his way of, trying to get people to
not saying he was a bad teammate, but he wasn't one of the best.
He wasn't one of the best.
Okay,
and then,
gotcha.
the way that he talked to people and stuff like that, it was more like a talking down. Kobe too, as well. If you watch some videos when Kobe practices and the way
I can't play with this sorry
right,
team.
right.
Oh,
I mean, that's not encouraging at all in some people's eyes. Some people respond to that in a positive way, but once you think about the big picture of Kwame coming in as an 18-year-old, the NBA is the only major sport where someone comes in possibly not even playing it in college, right? When you talk about football, when you talk about baseball, like when you get drafted that young in those two sports, you don't start. You got to go to college first, right?
No, he was the first overall #1 pick coming straight out of high school.
Right, and there's no warm up period. Do you really think an 18-year-old? How many 18-year-olds, coming out other than LeBron, right, are ready to play? Right, when you talk about a few people just off the top of my head, like Jermaine O'Neal, right, was another one that kind of came out, wasn't really ready to play. Nobody's really ready to play at that age coming in from high school. So to have that riding on your shoulders, being the #1 pick on top of that, and then Jordan kind of bringing them down, not to say for the most part, but trying to. I guess that was. I don't
think Jordan did it like in a personal way. It was just.
I think it was more to make him tough,
exactly.
to kind of make him a little bit. Put the crocodile skin, you know what I mean? Because to prepare him for what he's going to experience in the NBA, but that is a lot riding on your shoulders at that age, and he is top 2, I think, other than Anthony Bennett, #1, bust when it comes to #1 picks, but that is a lot asking from a high schooler coming in, right, playing with professionals, expected to possibly start at that age, right?
And he did start at that age.
NFL,
he was the franchise at that point.
NFL, MLB, and my NFL and what am I missing? NFL,
MLB,
and NHL. I'm sorry. You don't start at that young. You know what I mean?
It's rare. It's rare.
Super rare. Yeah. And in the NBA, that's the expectation. So, he could have had, he could have had a better career, but I mean, it just didn't pan out.
I get
especially with the team he was with too. So.
Once again, you're tuned in to Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. We are coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. We are streaming live on YouTube on the Gorilla Cross page, Facebook on the Gorilla Cross page, and on Twitter on the Gorilla Cross page. And everyone in the studio, I'm pretty sure, has already shared it on their pages. So if you're following us, please go ahead and drop a like, share, comment, and we'll go from there. just let everyone know what you're enjoying tonight. We have Miss Ballin, the host of No Plays Off Sports Talk.
That's right.
Here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network as well. So we're just doing some cross promoting here tonight. We got the Lakers up on the big screen. Golden State just tied it up 91-91. Coming down to the wire, guys. Final 5 minutes, I believe, in the game. It's gonna be tough, man. So the winner of this plays Phoenix, right? So let's jump into NBA talk since we got the game up. We can go to WNBA after that. But the Phoenix, right? That's who they're gonna play if they win this game. They'll be going in to Phoenix, the number 2 overall seed, which a lot of people will say that no, Chris Paul's not the MVP. I disagree. I've been saying it that I think he is, but I also have some thoughts on Steph as well with what he's done in respect to the way that team has been and as much as he meant to that team, right? But right now, going back to the Lakers. Lakers have had a tough time in this game. I was driving to the show tonight, and I sit there and I pull up my phone. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder what the line is because I didn't even check to see what the line is. Obviously, straight bet sports. You know we're going to talk about the lines as well. So the Lakers are favored by 5.5, and I'm sitting there going, there's no way. There's no way that the Lakers should be this favored. Now, I know it could mean nothing now because the game's already on, but I still thought that they would win this game, but I thought that they would not cover. 93-93 now. Golden State just tied it again. Now, 5.5 to me just seemed like a disrespect to the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have been hot. I believe they just beat Memphis to get into this playing game, I believe it was, into this situation against the Lakers.
Last game of the season, right?
Last game of the season, correct. Curry scored 40-plus points to get the scoring title. Oldest player since Jordan to do it when he was 35. So there's a lot that goes into that. Not only that, LeBron, you have LeBron and Steph playing again, which is the bigger story as well. But I like the play-in tournament. I like it. I know you guys talked about it on your show earlier. Kev said that I believe he likes it as well.
Yeah, he likes it. I like it too. I think it's good for basketball. It's exciting for fans. I like it.
I think it's great because not only that, you're giving these teams that are 8, 9, 10 seeds that are still good possible teams that are making these late runs, and you're making it more exciting for fans. You're giving it more to watch, right? I like it. LeBron didn't like it, but yet he liked it before they had to drop down to the 7th seed.
Yeah, until he's in that moment where he has to play in one of them. Yeah, he didn't really probably expect himself to ever play in a playing game, right? Coming from his playoff career and what he's done so far.
So my question to you, going based off of that, I'm sitting there looking at the line. It's -5.5. I'm sitting there going, there's no way I'm not touching this. But I'm also not taking Golden State. You're a better. What are the books hoping? Are they hoping that they're baiting you in on that Golden State money because it looks too good to be true and the Lakers shouldn't be this favorite? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's what I would think, right? That the exact same thing that you're saying is that it's too good to be true. This is too many points. Steph obviously, hitting 40 and they're hot right now. And they, with him having all the MVP talk and everything. So it seemed like a little too high. It opened at 6.5, I believe. It dropped to 5.5. And when I saw that, initially I was like, I like the 5.5, but once you think about it, I think that's a little bit. I think they're begging you to take the Warriors, right? I think they're begging you to take the points. It looked good so far, right? I mean, at least through 3 quarters, it looked like the points were going to come into play, but it still. I'm sorry, it still does. It's 3:36 left,
yeah.
But Lakers took the lead for a little bit. Up to 5. It was just up to 5, but I probably, if I would have bet this game, I probably, if I would have bet it earlier in the day before I was, really had a chance to think about it, I would have took the 5.5, but. Now that I'm thinking about it, I bet you, I think that they were begging you to take the Warriors in the points.
So 3:15 left in the game, 95-96.
What a move.
Warriors are up, and Steph just murdered.
Nice.
Now they're up 3, timeout Lakers. Guys, do the Lakers have enough to come back and win this game? Now keep in mind, they're not in a lose situation. If they lose this game, they still play the Memphis, I believe, because Memphis beat San Antonio and knocked them out, and they play them for the 8th seed. So it's not over.
It's a 2-game playoff.
Depending on where you're at. So the 9 and the 10 team, the loser's out. The winner plays the loser of this game.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So
it's all new for everyone, but I like it. I mean, especially with
it's a good format. I think it's cool.
Well, obviously, college basketball already has that play-in game, right, for the tournament, right?
Correct.
They have that.
The first
and then
4. Yep.
MLB has the play-in wild card game. So
the one game.
Yeah, the one game. So I think
I would prefer that to be best of 3. You know what I mean? Whoever wins 2 first.
I like the one and done.
You like the one and done? Okay.
Especially with the wild card. But this is new, and I think that once people there was a few, people some people liked it, some people didn't. But
Yep.
once we really see it in live and how it's working out and how it's playing out, I think a lot of people are gonna want this more often. So I think it's gonna. Hopefully they're gonna keep it. I don't know if this is just a trial period or if they're gonna keep it, but it looks good. The ratings are up. It's a great matchup. First of all, right? I think all the matchups have been pretty good. Yesterday's games were kind of they were kind of blowouts, I believe.
Boston, Washington.
Yeah, they were
that was
both
the big
blown-
game.
yeah.
Tatum went
Yeah.
for 50, I think, or
They were
something
both
like that.
blowouts,
It's
but
insane.
yesterday's, I mean, both games today. That the Spurs game was really good, and then obviously this game prime time. So
I think it's good. It's like a NBA March Madness, and it gives some of the teams
Perfect
who
way to put it.
wouldn't have the opportunity to kind of make that playoff push to kind of get competitive and come, put it all together towards the end. So it's exciting, man. If you're a basketball fan, you got to enjoy it.
And I look at it this way too. Think about this. How many times, let's say in the last 20 years, have we seen teams on the East, let's say the bottom 3, have losing records and make the playoffs?
Yeah.
But yet you have teams in the West that got over 40 wins that don't even become an 8th seed.
yeah,
So this is giving those teams, at least in the West, that opportunity. Granted, I don't think we had that this year. I think a lot of the teams that made it all had losing records pretty much towards the 9th and the 10th seed. But still, you had teams that were exciting. I wanted to see Washington in the playoffs if possible. I wanted to see Bradley Beal and Russell
Yes,
Westbrook.
yes.
Don't get me wrong. That's something that I would want to see. So I'm 100%. I know Mo from Girl Chat Sports chimes in and she says that she thinks it's stupid. She says they're the 7th seed and should have just gone in as a 7th seed slot. Why would they have to play an 8th to get a spot they're already in? I don't know. I like it. I hope they stay with it. Does it need tweaking? I don't think so. I mean, it's self-explanatory.
We won't know. I mean, because this seems successful. I mean,
so far.
if it's not broke, don't fix
if anything, I would maybe give the 8th seed a first round or a bye on the first game, make the 9 and the 10 play or whatever, and then have them the winner of that play the 8th seed for the 8.
And not touch the 7th seed,
And not
which is
touch
kind of what she's
exactly,
saying.
and not touch the 7th seed.
I can
So
see that as well.
that's a good one, right? I mean,
The final
I do
team to
agree
make it, just
I
the
do
final
agree that
spot.
you're the 7th team, and yet you're still having to play to get in. So I do see that point of view. So maybe yeah, like I said, the 8th gets a bye, 9 and 10 play. Winner of that plays the 8, and whoever wins that gets to go for it.
But if the 7th team is so good, they should beat the 8 team. And
Correct.
if Lakers lose, then that just proves the point that this plan worked.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I think if
Kwame brings up a point.
I think if the Lakers do get eliminated as the 7th seed, I think, like Juan said, that's
They just didn't deserve to be there. So that's
right.
where the tournament proves
yeah,
it
exactly.
works.
It kind of proves itself if the Lakers
Back and
lose,
forth.
because they got knocked. If the Lakers get knocked out in the first inaugural play-in tournament,
it's not going to look good.
It's not going to look good, but it also shows that it works, though.
Correct. It shows
works.
that it works and it's not rigged or it's not going to be bad for the sport or anything like that. And not only that, you're giving other fans fans. Oh, and what? Oh, what a
Ooh,
play.
hit his head.
Got fouled. LeBron's on the ground holding his head.
LeBron's
Not
down.
good.
You see Steph Curry and
He's like, man.
Steph Curry and Draymond high
His
five
feelings
after
got
that
hurt
one.
on that. That's what that was.
So look, man, the other games that were played yesterday, I like the Hornets. I thought they were going to make some noise. Didn't happen. They got murked by Indiana, 144 to 117. Boston pulled it off, 118 to 100 over the Wizards. Now, Boston plays Indiana, I believe, right? Do I have that correct?
Sorry that.
I'm sorry, Washington plays Indiana because Boston moves on. That's right.
Right.
So that's going to be a fun one to watch. Do the Wizards get in? You know what I mean? Does Indiana stay hot? Who knows, bro? Who knows?
Ow.
Yeah, he hit his head, right? Is that what it was?
His leg kind of.
We told you guys we're watching the game tonight. So if you see the heads, we're watching the game.
that knee.
Possible
Oh.
flagrant.
Oh.
What are they down? 2? Is it 99? Is it
98, 97.
so down 1? LeBron shooting 2, possibly 3.
That's good, D. That's good, D.
Let's see.
That's good, D. Watch his head, though. Watch his head. Oh, no.
No, he didn't hit his
No,
head.
no.
Good. He just hit his back. He just dived again.
I think it's the knee. He was
flopped.
grimacing with
He
the knee.
flopped.
He flopped. McFlopperson. I'll have a LeBron McFlop.
They brought a Javi on. Steve Javi.
Steve Javi?
Yeah, Steve Javi.
Rob loves the referees because every time he bets, he looks to see who's going to be the referee for that night.
Absolutely.
Who was Scotty? Was it Scott Foster?
Scott Foster.
Scott
Right.
Foster.
Still reffing games.
Is he your favorite worst referee of all time?
Well, I like to follow him because when Donahue got caught up doing all that stuff, they tracked all the phone calls and all,
Yeah.
all the
He was
timelines
part
and
of
stuff.
it, right?
He called him almost after every game or multiple times after every game that he admitted that he influenced, right? So when you're doing that,
It doesn't make you look
what's
good.
happening on those conversations, right? Like you're specifically calling one ref every time after games that you said that, yeah, I influenced these games. And for him to be still, reffing is is honestly quite an accomplishment for for Scott Foster, because he still refs, he still runs one of the higher crews. He's still got the tenure. He's he runs
got the highest tenure of I think almost everybody that's ref.
He's still reffing finals games and stuff like that. So it's super interesting. I think NBA,
I guess he got hit in the face. People were saying on Facebook.
NBA kind of leans on him when they need maybe a result and kind of say like, "Hey, we let you keep your job."
You know
back
what? We
then.
got to extend this series a bit. How about you go ahead and hook us up, man? But if you guys want to give us a call and join in on the conversation, you got something to say, 702-608-3259. Again, we are joined by Ms. Ballin, the host of No Plays Off Sports Talk here on Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. We're watching the Laker game here in studio. It looks like LeBron will be shooting some free throws shortly. Might be a flagrant, might not be. So, Ms. Ballin, I want to get into it with you with some WNBA talk.
Absolutely.
Our Aces will be home here shortly on Friday, just a few days away, after having a tough road trip to start the season, right? I mean, 2 games on the road in Seattle against the defending champ. The team that they got swept, I believe, last year.
Yes, they lost 5 games straight to Seattle. Seattle gets their rings on the first opening night, and that had to be tough for our Aces to sit and take. But,
14-point loss to open the season. I wasn't too worried about it. If I'm being honest with you, I saw the game. I saw the highlights again after the game. I was on the Zoom chat talking to the ladies that were on and coach. And the one thing that I do hear from Bill that I think we got to stop hearing is, we got to get better. We got to get better. We got to get. It's like you've been saying that for the last 3-4 years. It's like, at what point are you going to be better is the question. They proved that last night. They proved that they can be better. They came out and dominated.
They did.
They were up by 17, 18 points at one point.
It was like 14-4 in the first quarter.
Crazy run.
Yeah.
So I like what I saw yesterday, and I think that just shows that the injury of Angel McCoughtry obviously was huge. So you still have ladies that are trying to gel together. You got Kelsey Plum coming off the bench now when she's used to being a starter.
What do you think about that?
I like that.
You like that?
And I'll be honest with you, and no disrespect to Kelsey, I've never been a huge Kelsey Plum fan. And Tim Monglesby, a good friend of mine, Heatwave Sports, he loves Kelsey Plum and has since she was in college. I just never really liked her for Bill's type of system because I don't think she can handle the way Bill coaches her.
Interesting.
That's the problem. And I've been to the games. I've covered them live. I've been behind the bench. And I've seen him bark at her and go at her. Her whole demeanor changes. There was one time where he benched her in the early in the second quarter, and she didn't come back till the fourth quarter.
But as we saw in the series in the playoffs last season, he did that. He put a lot of pressure on her. She showed up. I'm not a big fan of Jackie
she was
Young.
out last year.
You're right.
The year before that.
The year before she responded pretty well. I'm just not a fan of Jackie Young. Her confidence, to me, last night she had a game high, 21 points. She
career high. Yep.
She played well, but when her confidence is down, she missed a couple shots. It hurts the Aces.
So I know I keep saying this because we talked about it earlier with was it Kwame, KCP on the Lakers. She basically reminds me of like a Lamar Odom type of player. We don't know what we're gonna get night in and night out. We know we might get the player we got tonight, but are we gonna get that same player on Friday? Are we gonna get the same Jackie Young that we saw last night against the defending champs, or are we gonna see a Jackie Young that looks lost and deer in the headlights? No disrespect. But that's just based off of her playing what we've seen. And I've asked her twice already. I asked her after her first preseason game as a rookie. And I asked her after her first preseason game here this season. Are you taking anything that you learned from college and the college game and adapting it to the WNBA game? Or is it all WNBA and what you're learning now?
This is a huge difference.
Correct. She says that it's a little bit of both, that she's mixing in both and using what she's learned, but some of the stuff from the past still helps her. You got to get it together, though. You have to find some form of consistency, right? At this point, they need more from her. She was a number 1 pick.
Yeah. And she talked about it last night on the Zoom call about her confidence. And she said she felt like her confidence was there last night. She felt like she was kind of in a zone. She didn't know she had a career high until she came to the bench and they told her, which is good. I'm just not a fan of Jackie Young. And again, no disrespect to her.
Exactly.
I just don't. She's inconsistent.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Now, huge games from other people, obviously, on the team. You want to see Chelsea Gray succeed. I think you had her on your show a few weeks back, right? Is it the same? Or
no, not yet. No, that was the player from the Atlanta Dream.
Got it. Okay.
Courtney Williams.
Which that was a great interview, by the way. What happened? Who just hit?
Oh man, LeBron just hit a fadeaway 3.
Drake and Michael B. Jordan in the building going crazy.
As a shot clock expired.
Lakers up by 3, 103, 100. You know Curry's gonna shoot this.
Just a crazy
watch. Right, it's going right back to Curry. Look at this.
Oh, wide open.
No foul.
Oh.
Good no call. I'm sorry. We're over here giving you guys the freaking play-by-play of this
he
game.
traveled too.
Here we go. Let's see. Wide open 3. Rebound. Let's go.
No foul.
All right, Lakers got the ball with 31 seconds to
You
go.
guys missed the 3 by LeBron right now. They should call timeout probably, but no,
Sorry,
they're gonna play
guys.
through it.
This is what
No
you're getting
pressure.
tonight.
They're watching too. Don't
we
worry.
still got a lot of show to go. I'm pretty
Right.
sure you guys are watching the same game.
They ain't watching us live
turnover.
either.
Nope. Wesley Matthews.
Nope.
That's a bad shot.
Caruso?
There. That's a bad shot.
Oh my God.
Timeout.
Here we go. 10 seconds remaining. No timeout. They're not gonna call timeout. No way. They're not gonna call a timeout. Oh, there. Kirk called it. 2.1 left. They're probably gonna give them more time because Kerr was running down the sideline. Call that timeout. So we'll get into that here shortly. Game's almost over. Exciting game to watch. Definitely. I'm glad we got it up on the big screen here. But another thing too. The ratings are up.
They are.
The WNBA ratings are up.
They are.
Which is very good for the league.
Up 25% opening game this past season, up 25% since 2012, which is huge. As we talk about that, the marketing part of it, it has to increase if they want to get more money, which we talk about all the time. So that's good.
I like what they're doing though. Not only that, the NBA is supporting big time.
For
you
sure.
see all these guys wearing the sweaters. You see them
I
wearing
love
this. Everyone will have the
I love
T-shirt.
it.
The coaches celebrating the 25-year anniversary. How long have you been into this league? How long have you been covering it? Have you been covering it since, not covering it like as media, but following it just as a fan in general? Has it been since day one with you as well?
For me, it has.
Okay,
Since the
same
Cheryl
here.
Swoops,
Same
since the Leaks of Leslie's, the
Yeah.
Yo-Yo, Yolanda Griffins,
Houston
the
Comets
Cheryl
with
Swoops,
three-peat championships and all that. Yeah, definitely.
Cooper, right?
Cooper.
Cynthia Cooper, yeah.
They had 4 in a row.
Wasn't she four? Was it 4 in a row? Okay, 4 in a row. Well, and she was a multiple 3 or 4 time NBA,
Yes, she was.
WNBA MVP,
She was
I believe
dope.
as well. It's just crazy to think back how far they've come, man. I remember the first game, Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo.
Yeah.
I remember watching Rebecca Lobo when I was a kid, when there was nothing else to watch. No disrespect to women's basketball, it's just when I was younger, and they were on TV. I remember watching her at Connecticut.
Yep.
She was a beast.
Yes, she was.
So knowing that she was someone that was going to be one of the first pillars of that, and then Lisa Leslie with everything she did in college, and of course with the USA basketball, it's awesome. I like where the league has come. I know there's still a long way though. They're trying to get the whole pay structure right. They want to make sure that these women get paid more, and I agree with that. But I think that people need to start accepting the league more, accepting the play that's out there. It's not the NBA. You're not going to get NBA play. For people that say let's lower the rims and do all that so they can dunk, that's not what this league is about. I like it.
My issue is respect the WNBA for what it is.
Correct.
You know, that's a different league. And we talk about it all the time, the athletic ability between men and women. You're not going to get it. But if you like solid basketball, the fundamentals of basketball, the pick and rolls, you're going to get it with the WNBA. With
Great shooting.
You get it.
Let's be real.
You get it. Just
Great
respect
shooting.
that league for what it is.
So my question to you as well, do you like Bill Laimbeer as a coach?
I mean,
Put you on the spot.
he's cool. I mean, I think he gets out of the players what he wants to get out of them.
Okay.
I think he does a great job with Asia Wilson. He puts a lot of pressure on Asia. She responds to him for the most part. I like Bill. I like Bill for the Aces. A lot of people have mixed emotions about it though.
I don't know. I like him because he's straight up. He doesn't beat around the bush.
And they know that. They know that.
And not only that, like I said, he will bark at you. I didn't see him rip it to De'Erica Hamby, and then she just comes off the bench and kills it.
Well, that's one thing
has
that
a game.
Raquana
You know what I
Williams
mean?
said too, is that he's straight to the point. He will tell you mess up. He will. She acknowledged that in the Zoom call yesterday. She said she respects him for that because he's straight to the point.
And I've seen other coaches in the WNBA. They're not that harsh. And what I mean is with their verbiage, with their body language. You see some coaches get mad and they clap it up and this and that. But the way he
gets
talks,
fired up.
He gets fired
He gets
up.
fired
Like you
up.
feel like your dad just told you,
Yeah.
why'd you miss that layup? Go sit down. Like he's crazy, man. But after the games, after the media conferences and all that, I don't know if he's still doing it now because of the whole bubble thing and everything. But he likes to have his little drink. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure.
I think it's whiskey. He likes to have his little whiskey and he just relax in the back. Lakers pull it off, guys. 103-100. Final score. LeBron
Nice.
right now being interviewed
Great
by
game.
Rachel Nichols.
Great
Yeah,
game.
great game, right?
Great game.
You're down by so much and you come back. I
Yeah.
like it. I think the Lakers needed a game like this.
They did.
You
They need-
needed a test like this, especially at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be. I'm excited to see the Grizzly Warriors game now.
That's
too,
going
right?
to be a great game.
That's
John
gonna be-
Morant versus Steph Curry.
I think that's gonna be the better of the two, right? Obviously. Yeah, it's playing out the way that they wanted it. You know, the way that they wanted it to. Everyone's excited about the playoffs before the playoffs start. right?
Exactly.
So
So what about the MVP, guys?
I'm with you on Chris Paul, to be honest with you. I think that, for them to be the number 2 seed, I mean, who remembers the last time Phoenix was this good, right? And they have most of the players that they've had the last few years, right, that haven't been able to get over that hump and even be in the playoffs. And then Chris Paul comes along and then they're number 2, so I don't think he's getting enough credit, but it is tough to steal the spotlight from Steph the way that he's scoring, right? Phoenix doesn't rely on Chris Paul to score. They rely on Chris Paul to kind of facilitate that offense. To be a leader. To be a mentor, and to control that offense. And he does score when he needs to score. He's got that pretty little fadeaway jump shot in the key, right? But
little step back.
But yeah, he's definitely playing like that Steve Nash role, though, right? When he was with Phoenix, when he wasn't putting up big numbers, but he was leading that team.
Back-to-back MVPs.
Back-to-back MVP. So I don't see the difference between what Steve Nash did then and won the MVP, and no one pretty much had an argument, versus what he's doing now, what Chris Paul's doing now. And it's because Steph is a scorer, because he's doing all these highlight plays. And, obviously in just this game alone, right, is going to, even though they lost, is going to boost his chances and everyone talking on that train of him winning an MVP. So I like what Chris Paul's doing. I think he's never gotten respect, though, right?
Correct.
I don't think he's ever gotten respect his entire career, even with the Clippers.
His knees never gotten respect.
Yeah, and, I mean, for him to be able to, he's still quick, though. When you watch him play, though, like, it looks like he hasn't lost a step, though. I mean, obviously he's older and he's not the same player, but he still, plays the same way that he plays inside the paint, and he's leading that team and kind of what they needed. He was the missing link to that team, and look where they're at now. And now they're going to have to, play the Lakers. So it's going to be a real tough test for them too, though, right? Because especially if they lose to the Lakers in the first round, I think all the MVP talk's going to go away.
Go out the window.
Because you got there, but where are you? Right, you're right back where you've been for the last how long, right? Before, back to when Barkley and Marley and KJ were all there. I mean, that was the last time that was the last time they were really good, though, right?
Yeah.
No, they were in the Western Conference Finals in 2010.
Oh, that is well, yeah. But I still feel like that team was better than that team, the 2010 team. But for them to be relevant again, I think Chris Paul deserves that MVP. And it's still up for grabs. When is it announced?
It should be in the coming weeks, because Monty Williams already got announced as the coach of the year, right?
But that was the coaches voted on that. Yeah,
okay,
that was the
different.
coaches voted on it.
Yeah.
So look, I was with you, and I'm still with you. Like I still think,
I'm with you more on it, because that was your train, kind of. I'm just
now. I'm still with it. I still think Chris Paul should be the MVP. I've been saying it all season, so I'm not gonna back down from it now. I'll get your thoughts on it right now in a minute, D. But my thing is too, I started to think about it, and you have to look and you have to listen to what the people are saying. Right? This team went undefeated in the bubble. They were already a hot team going into this season. They've already had this team. So Chris Paul just kind of helped them get over the hump, but maybe they were already going to be this good this season anyways, right? I don't know if that's true, but because I still believe that Chris Paul is helping this team, like Rob said, be the facilitator, be the leader, control the offense, and get everyone better. I think Booker's gotten better from it. I think DeAndre Ayton's gotten better from it. And the whole team itself has gotten better from it. And it shows that when you give Monty Williams, you don't have to give him superstars all the way around. But if you give him a decent, solid team that can put it together and follow his system, it's going to work. Now, you also can't take away what Steph has done, because if we're being real, do I think the Phoenix Suns are still a playoff team this year without Chris Paul? Yes. A number 2 seed? Possibly not. Are the Warriors even fighting for a playoff or a play-in game?
Absolutely
without
not.
Steph? No. So for him to be the scoring champ, oldest since Jordan, like I said, not only that, he was over 32 points. It was 32 points per game, right? And the way he shoots the ball, I'm sorry. Every time he gets the ball, he can just lob it up, and it's going to go in. No disrespect to Ray Allen. I got to see Ray Allen play as well. But Ray Allen looked like he had to get the shot. As where Steph Curry can just shoot the shot.
And it's like it's going in. He throws it up with ease, man.
Every time. So what I'm getting to is that it's hard for me to also not look at Steph now. Sure. I'm still riding with Chris Paul, and I think Chris Paul should be the MVP, but it's hard for me to not take a look at Steph. So if Steph were to win it over Chris Paul or anyone else, I'd be okay with it.
I don't think that Steph had the resources that Phoenix had. I
Correct.
mean, he didn't have the players that Phoenix had. I mean, yes, he had the Draymonds, but that team wasn't a package team. I mean, without Steph, they're not.
And Clay's out.
Without no Clay,
2
without
years.
Steph, he's not in the conversation. When you think of an MVP, you have to have the scoring component in the conversation. And Chris Paul, he doesn't give us that because it's really not his game. But you cannot overshadow and take away what Steph is doing. It's phenomenal.
So who's your pick?
I'm rolling with Steph.
Okay.
I like Steph. I know my co-host, he's rolling with CP3.
Yeah,
Which
he just texted us on the Facebook
jump.
here.
Yeah, but I like Steph.
What do you think, Quan? Who's your MVP for the league this year? Give us your thoughts. Chime on in.
Russell Westbrook.
Really?
And it's kind of hard for me to disagree with that.
He got penalized for averaging a triple-double a few years ago, and now he does it with ease every year, and they don't even mention him in the top 5 for MVP.
It is hard to disagree.
My top 2 is Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Because like you said, Chris Paul, he had a built-in team. Like, they were going to be good this year already with or without him. They would have been a top 5 in the West. And then, Jokic is right there. He's been solid all year. So there's a lot of good players. And people kept saying Steph missed all these games. He missed 9 out of the 72. He didn't miss that many, So I would lean towards Steph, but Russell Westbrook is disrespected.
But he got kind of pushed back to the end. He got kind of pushed out towards the end, Russ did.
Because of what Steph did. Because of how hot Steph got. I mean, it's hard to overshadow that. I mean, it's hard to overlook it. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's
when he
so
does
hard.
the consistency so many nights in a row.
Night in and night out. So speaking of local teams as well, as we were talking about the Aces earlier, Rob, you went to the game last night.
Yes.
Fun times?
Absolutely.
Before we get into it?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you could put up the video of the final goal last night by Alex Tuck, I believe, right? Second goal of the night. Because it was Tuck, Marshy, and then Tuck again.
3-1
was final.
first.
Marshy was first, and then Tuck got the last 2. So if you could put up that video of the final goal here, and then we'll get into some Golden Knights talk real quick.
Granted, 1 to go in the period.
So that was the final goal of the night there last night. Golden Knights winning the game 3-1 to even up the series 1-1 against the Minnesota Wild. Shout out to Jimbo. I know he is a Wild fan because he is from Minnesota.
Yeah.
But yeah, they even up the series. 2 great games for Marc-Andre Fleury, if we're being honest. He didn't lose that first game. That offense lost that first game. Them not scoring is, in my opinion, what lost that first game. People coming out saying, oh, Robert Leonard should have been the goalie. It would have been the same conversation if, it was the other way around. If Leonard was in there and they lost 1-0, oh, we should have had Flower in as goalie. So let's be real. 2 great games by Marc-Andre Fleury.
For sure.
Last night, better overall game by the team. You were there last night, Rob. Talk about, first of all, the atmosphere inside. How was it? And then what did you see on the ice?
Atmosphere was amazing, right? As playoff games, my first ever playoff hockey game, right? Everyone was. I don't think I saw one. I was thinking about it as I was walking out. I don't think I saw one Minnesota jersey or anything
That's
like
good.
that.
We want the home.
It
home
was like
advantage.
I didn't see. Usually, you see a couple of locals, right?
Yeah.
That want to support, pay their money to go watch the game.
Well, Jimbo moved out already.
I know.
He's in Florida.
I didn't see one Wild jersey, and it was a live atmosphere. I can only imagine what it would be like at full capacity, right? Everyone's dying to get in some seats, and stuff like that, and watch some live sports and be able to watch their home team. This city and the Golden Knights are just like no other. This city's adopted them. However many seasons they've been playing now. How many seasons is it now?
For who?
For the Golden Knights. Been here four seasons, right? On the ice, they bounced back really good. It was a really good matchup. Obviously 0-0 after the first period. A lot of opportunities on both sides, but Minnesota's got that first goal. It was a nice goal. I have to give them that. But literally within I think it was like a minute or two, Marshy comes back and we had a perfect angle from where we were sitting, and he just top shelved it right over the corner, right over the shoulder. They bounced back there, and the crowd went crazy. Right, to bounce back, because the whole crowd went silent, obviously, when Minnesota scored, and it was more like, are we going to go down 2-0, right? Are we going to go down?
How fast is Alex Tuck, bro, in person? Because I was watching the game last night on a breakaway. He didn't score on that breakaway, but he got the puck and he took off. He's fast. Dude.
He's super fast. It seems like he's always involved, right? It's
Right.
always involved, especially in front of the net. And he was able to, have a nice putback for the first one. That goal, when that goal happened too, because it was kind of like back to back almost on that one. That one was that the crowd went even crazier, right? But it kind of like settled everything, letting them know, everyone know that we're in this, right? Yeah. We're gonna, we are the better seed in this, right? So, it was great experience overall. T-Mobile Arena, obviously a nice venue already. It was handled well. Everything went smooth. I was in a suite, so it was kind of nice not having to move over through seats and stuff like that and worry about any about that. But it was a great experience, and I look hopefully forward to going to more.
Definitely, man. Golden Knights tied up now 1-1 going into Minnesota. D, what are your thoughts on the game and the series so far?
I didn't get a chance to see game one, but the game I saw last night was exciting, man. The Aces, the Knights just seemed complete dominance last night. I mean, like I said, I didn't get a chance to see game one, but last night looked like they put it all together. They had a solid game for the most part. So definitely moving in the right direction. Marc-Andre Fleury, he's receiving a whole bunch of awards. He got another award he earned this week, so he's racking up the awards.
Great season.
He had an incredible game yesterday too. For him to come back after all the criticism, but all the people saying what if, right after the first game, and for him, I didn't actually know that he was going to start the second game, and when his name got announced, as the starter, as the starting goalie. The crowd went crazy. The crowd went crazy, and he had a really good game. I mean, they only gave up one goal, fortunately for him, his team bounced back and responded in a big way, and they were able to put it away and tie the series up. Now they got to go to Mini, right? And it's hopefully this is a momentum builder for them, and they can move on and play the next team.
That has to be a lot of pressure for him, though.
Oh yeah.
Between him and, I mean,
I would say no, and here's why.
It's just his career.
He's already won 3 cups.
It's like he gets no passes though.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
He can't have a bad game.
Especially in this moment. I mean, I think they just expect nothing but excellence from him, right?
But see, that's the problem. That goes back to too many Golden Knights fans, not enough hockey fans in Las Vegas. That's the problem.
Huge difference.
When you have fans of a team, but you don't really follow hockey all that much, then of course you're going to say, oh, it's Marc-Andre Fleury's fault. No, it's not, when the guy had that many saves, but yet Talbot on the other side for Minnesota also had 40 plus saves. You know what I mean? It was a great game by both goalkeepers, both goatenders.
Game one was honestly one of the best games,
that I've seen in a while. Even though it was scoreless and it went to overtime, it was a great game.
It's one of the one of the best games it's been in. And
I love seeing saves like that. The way that game was, it was
just
crazy.
Didn't go their way game one, but they definitely rebounded, especially after going down one goal. Especially after going down one goal in the second game, they rebounded really nice, and it worked out.
Nice.
So Knights going over to Minnesota. Hopefully they can go ahead and take this series. We'll see how that goes. But guys, we got about 8 more minutes here left on the show. So real quick, I want to talk about the Oakland A's possible relocation here. We'll get through this as quick as we can. I want to give a big shout out to Scott Gobranson over at Vegas Sports Today. He wrote an article about it, about the possibilities and what has happened with the relocation. As you guys know, MLB's already basically gave the Oakland A's the green light to go basically check out other possible spots. Other possible spots that I've read and seen just don't make any sense to me compared to Vegas, like Portland and other areas like that. I think baseball would be better here fit. Now, it's a lot of rumors. I still think that at the end of the day, and I said it on your show, I commented earlier, I think it's a smokescreen. I think it's a way for Oakland to push the city of Oakland to finally sign that contract and get the money. Now, this is quoting the article that Scott wrote. In 2019, reports the Arizona Diamondbacks, who badly want to replace an aging Chase Field in downtown Phoenix, explored a move to Las Vegas suburb in Henderson. Henderson, who aggressively pursued the Diamondbacks with a $1 billion retractable dome stadium in the pitch, didn't win out, but it showed MLB's interest in the growing market and instantly validated us for relocation. Now, I agree with that 100%, but here's the problem. We went from building an Allegiant Stadium that was supposed to be, like you guys were mentioning, 700,000 whatever, to 1.4 billion. Granted, the 1.4 billion didn't all come from the city of Las Vegas. Some of it was from Mark Davis, but a lot of it is coming from the city. Where are we gonna get the money for where are we gonna get the money to build another stadium? I know you have locations. They talk about the Flamingo Road where the Rio is at, tearing that down and building it there. They talk about a possible location in Henderson. I don't see it happening because I don't see where they're going to get the money for this. And I agree with you guys. You talked about it on your show. I don't see the money. Where is the money going to come from? I mean, it's great and all, but I think we need to relax and take a step back and enjoy what we do have. Respect the Aviators. Respect that AAA team. Let them be who they are.
Yes.
They haven't had an opportunity to create a history at that new stadium or create a history for the new brand of that team. They've only played 2 seasons, and the second one was COVID.
Dope stadium too.
Exactly. If you haven't been there, go check it out. I mean, have you been there? I know.
Oh, yeah, I've
I
been there a few times. Yeah.
It's an
nice.
MLB style stadium, and that's the feel that it has to it. My opinion, I would love to see MLB here. I just don't see it happening. I honestly think that it's a smokescreen, and I think they'll eventually stay in Oakland.
The money part is not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about us filling those seats, right?
I don't see that being a problem.
I could see it's not a problem for the Raiders because the Raiders travel well. They've got worldwide fans, right? But how many A's worldwide fans are there, right? How big of a stadium are we going to put up for them? If we're going to put up a you talk about T-Mobile and in the stadiums that we have, T-Mobile's what 15 to 18,000. Don't quote
T-Mobile
me.
18 plus.
Yeah, it's like 18,000, right? But when we're going to build a 25, maybe a 30,000 seat stadium, and for baseball is a grind, right? It's 5 days a week sometimes, right? Are we really going to be able to put people in the seats? The way that we're really expecting, we're going to sell out almost every Raider game, or we're going to, every Raider game is sold out probably for at least the next 4 or 5 years, 2 or 3 years the most, yeah. Right? But maybe before some seats start opening up. But for us to be able to fill, a stadium of that size on the baseball side of things, right? You talk about, I don't bet baseball because it's an everyday grind, right? I would say if you're going to bet baseball, you can't have a job, right? You cannot have a job because when you bet it, it's an everyday thing that you have to literally watch and focus on and know the numbers and it's tough. It's a daily grind, and it's a daily grind to have a team here too, right? Because they play back to back to back to back. They're playing 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. Are we going to really have enough people, locally that are going to fill that stadium that often, right?
Maybe so.
I just don't see it. I don't think we're ready for a baseball team, which sounds crazy to me, which sounds crazy saying, excuse me, but I think we may be a little bit ahead of ourselves as a city, because I think everyone's like, well, the Raiders are going to sell it. Well, that's because people are coming from all over the world. So
Kwame wants to say something.
How many baseball stadiums are full? Not many.
Well, you go to Dodger Stadium. I mean, there's some teams out there, but
you named one team, the champions. How many sellout games did the Aviators have, who are not a Major League Baseball team in Las Vegas?
But look at the size
almost
of the
every
stadium,
game, right?
First season,
that's fine. But nobody thought they were going to sell out games. And then to say it's a smoke screen, everybody thought the Raiders were a smoke screen, correct? They were doing that to try to get Oakland to build a stadium for them.
Correct.
Guess what Oakland didn't do? They didn't build a stadium for the Raiders. If they let the Raiders go, what makes you think they're going to keep the A's? I think the A's are gone.
You also just lost Golden State.
I don't think
Golden State moved across the bridge.
They've lost everybody. So
that's what I'm
for
saying.
everyone to think it's
left.
a smoke screen, Oakland does not want to pay for anything.
I think they're gonna figure it out, and I honestly think that they're gonna end up.
That's what everybody thought about the Raiders too. And look where the Raiders are right now; they're down on the strip.
I'm like with you, Jose. I think it's a smokescreen. I'm not. I think they'll eventually get the funds and they'll eventually come to some agreeable terms. I mean, I do agree with you. We need to appreciate the Aviators. I mean, we haven't had them in 2 seasons.
Correct.
in that beautiful stadium over there. Let them evolve. I mean, we struggled with the whole Phil and Cashman Field.
Yep.
When the A's with the Stars.
What has the city of Oakland shown you guys for you to be so sure they're going to come up with this money?
I just think that
because they've done zero for the Warriors, they did zero for the Raiders, which are 2 way better franchises and bigger franchises.
And that's what I'm saying. Now you're going to lose the final
A's.
thing you have left. I don't think they're just going to back out and say, I'm out. I get where you're coming from and what you're saying. You let everyone else walk. But this is the final piece that's left. Why would you not even give it an opportunity?
Because the A's have been dealing with this for 3+ years, but then they said they were going to do something 3 years ago, and they still haven't made any moves to do that.
The Raiders were doing the same thing. They signed a 1-year contract every single year. They wouldn't sign anything longer.
And so you're proving my point.
No,
the city of Oakland is not doing anything to keep their franchises there.
Correct.
So they have shown zero effort to keep these teams there.
I don't think the Raiders wanted to be there. I don't think the Raiders wanted to be in Oakland. regardless of, trying to work it out with them. I think they wanted to be in Vegas. I think Mark Davis was talking about it. They had already been trying to get a team here for a while now. The NFL player, when
they were supposed to get a new stadium when they came back from LA to Oakland, and they still didn't give it to them. The city of Oakland does not care.
Okay.
I think they're going to sign. I think they stay.
Quan chiming in. We appreciate it.
It'd be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
So, D, we greatly appreciate you chiming in tonight and jumping on. I want to give a huge shout out one more time to Scott Go Branson from Vegas Sports Today. He was the one that I read the article, so it gave me the opportunity to talk about the Oakland A's today. If you guys have not checked out the website, they got a lot of new stuff, brand new website. You won't want to miss it. Trust me, VegasSportsToday.com. Go ahead and check Scott and Mike Dixon out over there at the new webpage. Trust me, good stuff there. Now, D, thank you for coming on tonight. Let everyone know where they can find you on all things social media and what you got moving forward for your show.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on. You can find me No Plays on Sports Talk podcast is on each and every Wednesday right here on the Gorilla Cross Network, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can follow us on everything social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at No Plays on Sports Talk.
There you go. Rob, any final words for tonight?
A's are staying in Oakland.
So what? Quan convinced you?
No, the opposite. Oh, he says that they're going to move. They're staying in Oakland.
Okay. We'll see how it goes. Well, we appreciate every single person that was a part of the show tonight. Quan59, Rob G, Miss Ballin D. We were coming to you live here on Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Thank you guys for tuning in, chiming in. To everyone on the Facebook feeds, we greatly appreciate you. My final thought for the night is enjoy your sports, people. Enjoy the normal part of life that is coming back. If you have the opportunity to buy a ticket and go check it out, go check it out. Las Vegas Lights play on Saturday. I don't believe they're home yet, but when they come back, $10 a ticket, $5 for kids. You can't beat that, man. Get back to some normal parts in your life. Get back out there and enjoy it, whether you're vaccinated or not. Take the mask off and enjoy yourself, man. Big shout out to Mike Farrell from the Electric Company. They will be at the Horse Trader Hideout this Saturday night again, watching the game. So go ahead and check them out as well. So once again, for Rob G, Miss Ballin D, Quan59, I am Jose V. We will see you next Wednesday night, same time, 9 p.m. We are out. Peace.
See you.